Office Romance is the brand new Netflix original film that just hit the streaming service this past Friday. The film is directed by Ole Parker, who's coming off of directing Ticket to Paradise and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. The film's co-written by Brett Goldstein and Joe Kelly, who are two of the creators of the Apple TV series Ted Lasso. The film stars Jennifer Lopez in the leading role as Jackie Cruz, the CEO of Air Cruise, one of the most popular airlines in the movie in the entire country. And she needs help from her lawyer, Daniel Blanchflower, who's played by Brett Goldstein, in order to get off this particular lawsuit. But as they're working together to figure out this lawsuit, they begin to be romantically involved. And one of the big core rules at this airline is that none of the workers can be romantically involved. So Jackie and Daniel begin to have this romantic relationship while trying to make sure no one else knows about it. Because if people find out, Jackie's whole legacy of being the CEO of her own airline is on the line. Also in the film is Betty Gilpin as Cindy, Jackie's close friend and someone who works for the airline. Edward Jane Olmos plays Jack Cruz, who is Jackie's father. Bradley Whitford is also in the film as Peter Vance, someone who is the lawyer in front of Daniel before Daniel moves in to become Jackie's full-time lawyer. The film is an hour and 54 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Berg. Welcome, everyone, to the channel. Today, I'm talking about the new Netflix original Office Romance. And this is not a movie that I was insanely excited for. I'm definitely hit or miss with Jennifer Lopez's romantic comedy films over the last 20 years. Some of them worked for me, some of them don't. I don't have this like harsh opinion of her both as an actress or a singer. I usually enjoy her as an actress. Brett Goldstein's a person I'm definitely like coming off of Ted Lasso and Shrinking. The fact that he co-wrote this with his Ted Lasso co-creator got me excited a little bit more for this movie. And this is actually a pretty frustrating watch. There actually is a gem of idea in here and really good romantic chemistry between Jennifer Lopez and Brett Goldstein. This to me easily could have been another solid entry into Jennifer Lopez's romantic comedy filmography, but I was definitely frustrated with this one. What works for this movie, as I said earlier, is the romantic chemistry between Lopez and Goldstein. They definitely have chemistry. You can definitely feel why they have this chemistry with each other, why they feel like they want to fall in love with each other. I think Brett Goldstein in particular is very good in this movie. He easily has some of the funniest humor in the entire film. Lopez I didn't find to be that funny in the movie, but Goldstein has to deliver a lot of the humor in the film. Betty Gilpin, I think, steals this entire movie as Sydney. She is pregnant, but she still comes to work. And Gilpin does has a really fun time being pregnant in the movie and playing it with a little more physicality, but also just being that quirky best friend character that's in a lot of these other romantic comedies. And Betty Gilpin knows exactly what movie she is in, and she absolutely delivers with that. This movie is definitely raunchier than I was expecting from a humor perspective. When it becomes a raunchy comedy, I think the movie kind of works, and I kind of liked having that raunchy blend into a stereotypical rom-com. Thought that was quite enjoyable. The look of the movie I thought was good. The movie definitely has its moments of charm. There are definitely moments it's like, wow, I'm actually like swept up into liking this movie a lot more than I was expecting. But on the whole, it's a movie that I said is very frustrating because yes, this movie is a rated R comedy, but it feels like it doesn't know what it wants to be tonally. Sometimes it's a run-of-the-mill, generic romantic comedy, person in power dating someone who works for the person, what could go wrong, trying to save their legacies and all of these things. Very stereotypical rom-com that you've seen in a lot of movies before, but at points, this movie adds like 2 to 3 minutes at a time out of nowhere, raunchy humor that doesn't really fit the generic, stereotypical rom-com. I do think this movie is lost from a tone perspective, what the movie really wants to be, because love raunchy comedy. And I think raunch is really good to have in romantic comedies. Every romantic comedy feels the exact same, but this movie just doesn't pick a lane. Either go for the raunchy comedy or don't. And this movie has spurts, moments, like 2 to 3 minute sequences where it's raunchy, but then for the next 30 minutes, it just doesn't plays it very safe. So either play it safe or go for it. And this movie kind of goes in between. And that for me is a giant miss for this movie. Also, none of what this movie happens from a story perspective makes any logical sense. So many things make no sense. If one character made one crucial decision in the beginning of the movie, we would not have a film. Like if Jennifer Lopez was like, hey guys, in our new memo for the company, people can actually be in a flirtation romantic relationship with each other at work, this movie would not happen. She literally is the CEO. She runs the company. She can basically do whatever she wants. But because they add in this element where shareholders don't really want her there, the movie tries to add like that's the reasoning why this movie exists. There are so many sequences where like if Jennifer Lopez just did one thing or had one memo or one change in the rules of her own company, this movie would not exist. And that means like the stuff that happens throughout the entire film just feels like it's unrealistic, a bit over the top and ridiculous. So this is not like an offensive romantic comedy. I'm just frustrated because this could have been a really good one. And it's disappointing, especially coming from Brett Goldstein and Joe Kelly, who are the writers behind Ted Lasso, that this movie doesn't have enough heart into it. There's a lot of subplots that kind of go nowhere in this movie. Like Brett Goldstein has a sister, Bradley Whitford's character, and Edward James Olmos as the dad. Those subplots kind of come and go and don't feel that necessary. So this is a film that I wish was more enjoyable than it was. It definitely has its moments of charm. I think some people are probably going to enjoy this, but for me, this is just a frustrating romantic comedy. I'm giving Office Romance a 2.5 out of 5 stars, guys. I'm giving it a 52%. What are you guys' thoughts on Office Romance? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.